Hello, my friends, and much love to everybody. Today we have to recap week number 2, and we're also going to recap week number 3 because we had to bye that week. So anyways, the Steelers, they beat the Ravens 13-14. Hines Ward had 2 TD receptions in that game. The Dolphins fall to 0-2 as the Bengals beat them 24-17, and the Bengals are 1-1. John Kinner threw 2 TD passes in that one for the Bengals. The Seahawks end up falling to the Buccaneers. Charlie Garner had 2 rushing touchdowns in that ball game. And then as we move on to the injury report, and this pains me because Lyndon Fletcher is a long family friend, but he's going to be out for the next not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 weeks with a torn bicep. When we go to the NFC side of things, tied in for the Green Bay Packers, and of course he's from the U, Bubba Franks. He's going to be out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. He's not the only player from the NFC that has a torn ACL is going to be out for the year. Steve Hutchinson also tore his ACL, and he's going to be gone for the whole season up there in Seattle. Let's move on to the scores. Now in this one, we have the Vikings taking on the Eagles, and the Eagles get the win 17-7. That's their first win of the season and the Vikings' first loss of the season. The Colts can put up points with the best of them, but they can't stop nobody, and they fall to 0-2. 43-37 is the final, and that one Tennessee gets the victory. Jacksonville taking on those Denver Broncos, and Champ Bailey returning punts like he back at Georgia. Nice spin move down the left sideline into Jaguars territory, and he got too much speed, baby. He fast like a NASCAR. Touchdown Broncos on an 81-yard punt return by my man Champ Bailey. They get the win 24-21. Now we're going to move on to the Jets taking on the Chargers, and the Jets get the win in that one. The Bills, as we already know, lost to those Oakland Raiders 33-10. The Packers, they fall to the Bears for the first time this season, the first loss of the season, 19-13. The Falcons, they end up falling to the Rams. The Rams get their first win. Torrey Holt had 156 yards and 2 TDs. The Niners, they get their first win of the season versus the Saints. They are 1-1. The Saints are 1-1 as well, as the Niners win 21-18. The Lions beat the Texans 31-21. And the G-Men, they beat those Redskins 31-24. They move on to 2-0, and they're going to be taking on the Cleveland Browns next week. The Patriots beat the Cardinals 14-7. The Patriots offense is a little bit shaky so far this season, even though Tom Brady is still one of the better quarterbacks, obviously. The Browns beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 0-2, and of course that means that the Giants are the best team in the NFC East. And then we taking on 2-0 Cleveland, and Cleveland has a new running back, Heaven Barlow. That's right. Kennard Lang is going to the 49ers, and Barlow is going to those Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs end up losing to the Panthers, and here goes the prime time players: Brian Dawkins, Jeremiah Trotter, Aaron McNair, and of course Bennett. 5 catches, 3 TD. Alright, you guys, so because we have a bye week in week number 3, we are actually going to do the same thing in this video. We're going to have another Sports Center recap for week number 3 because we're not in it. But before we do that, I want to show you what's been going on around the league with the transactions that have taken place. So now we're going to head to the Patriots, where they have terminated some contracts. The biggest name here is Troy Brown. If you saw, he is a member of the Minnesota Vikings, but he's out for 9 weeks with, I believe it was a broken foot, maybe jaw, something like that. He broke something. So Marcus Washington was a member of the Redskins, but they terminated his contract, and now he is playing for those Green Bay Packers. So one of the bigger trades that you guys didn't get to see is when the Eagles traded Javon Curse to the Colts in exchange for Edgerrin James. So now you have Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb, and Edgerrin James. But you also have Javon Curse and, of course, Freeney on the edge in Indianapolis. Another big trade was when the Minnesota Vikings traded Corey Chavis from Minnesota to Dallas in exchange for Flozell Adams. And then, of course, you had the Eagles still making moves. They traded away defensive tackle Corey Simon to the Jets for defensive end Sean Ellis. So with Fletcher out, I was going to try maybe to sign Jeremiah Trotter, who we tried to sign in the beginning of this year, but he ended up signing with those Cincinnati Bengals. What up, Chris Berman? Get about the way. Nobody wants to hear you talk. This is my show, baby. 21-14, the Chargers get their first win of the season versus those Denver Broncos. The Bengals, they end up falling to the Ravens 20-17, giving the Ravens their first win of the season. Jamal Lewis, 2 rushing TDs in that one. The 49ers, they lose without Kevin Barlow, 13-17 to those Seahawks, and the Seahawks finally get a win. Matt Hasselbeck threw for over 200 yards plus a TD. The Packers beat the Colts, and the Colts continue to lose. Marvin Harrison had 3 TDs, but it wasn't enough. The Dolphins beat the Steelers 38-24. Chambers had 2 receiving TDs. The Houston Texans, they beat the Chiefs despite Tony Gonzalez's 3-catch, 90-yard plus a TD effort. Going to Detroit. Philly, looking downfield is McNabb. Taking a shot deep, that's going to be caught. Touchdown. And of course, as you see, Edgerrin James is now a member of the Eagles. And yeah, he balled out. 25 carries, 135 yards, plus a touchie. The Saints fall yet again, this time losing to the Rams. And the Rams, they get back-to-back wins so far this season. Moving to 2-1. Torrey Holt had 7 catches, 175 yards, plus a TD. And speaking of the Rams, they're going to get Reuben Brown from the Jets. And the Jets get Leonard Little. So they're adding to the pass rush. The Titans, they end up rolling again, this time versus the Jaguars. Aaron McNair, 4 TDs, 385 yards, but the Titans will be without one of the best defensive players. Albert Haynes has pulled his hamstring, and that's a big hamstring. He's out for 8 weeks. The Raiders end up beating the Buccaneers, and the Raiders are 3-0. Rich gaining 127 yards plus a TD. Now it's time to go to Hotlanta. Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, and Mike Vick gives the ball to Warwick. Well done, and he was well done on this play as he's going to take this thing all the way to the crib. Touchdown, Warwick done. Touchdown, Falcons, and the Falcons will get a 28-13 win. Warwick then will finish with 147 yards. Duckett, he will chip it with a touchdown on the ground as well. The Redskins, they end up beating the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys now 0-3. The Vikings, they beat the Bears by 10. 27-17 is the final in that one. Michael Bennett scored a touchdown. Jeremy Shockey had 8 catches for 132 yards plus a TD in a win versus the Browns. The Browns lose for the first time, and the Giants continue to roll. They are 3-0. There go the primetime players, y'all. So as we head into week number 4 of the NFL season, McNair has the best QB rating of 147, followed by Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. When it comes to the completion percentage, at top again is Steve McNair, 73%. Peyton Manning and Jake Delhomme has a completion percentage of 71. When it comes to yards, Ed McNair is leading the way up there as well with 1,250. After him is Kurt Warner with 865. Peyton Manning has 824. Jerome the Bus Bettis has the most carries in the NFL with 63, and he also has the most yards with 266 as well. Warwick Dunn is second in most yards on the ground with 265. When it comes to touchdowns, Fred Taylor and Priest Holmes have the most with 4 apiece, and then you have a bunch of guys with 3, including Jamal Lewis, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Sean Alexander. Marvin Harrison, he has the most receptions at 23. He also has 365 yards, but the most receiving yards so far goes to St. Louis Rams' Torrey Holt, followed by Harrison and then Antonio Bryant of the Dallas Cowboys. When it comes to TDs, you have Harrison up top with 6. You have a fullback in Holcomb, has 6 as well. Then Holt has 5 and Smith has 4, and a bunch of guys with 3, including Jeremy Shockey, who's in his 3rd year. The most tackles as of right now goes to Al Wilson with 28. 4 of them were assisted. He also has 1 sack. The most sacks go to Justin Smith, who put up 4.5 so far this season, and 3 of them came last week. The most interceptions go to Dwayne Starks with 3 of them things, bruh. I cut him in our Madden 04 franchise. Might have been a mistake. The Cowboys' Billy Cundiff has the best field goal percentage so far at 100, but there's a lot of guys on this list as well. That is going to do it. I will see you guys with some more gameplay. We are going to be taking on those New England Patriots a little bit later today. Be on the lookout for that. And if everything goes smoothly, like if it doesn't take 5 hours to upload 1 video, I'll greatly appreciate it, YouTube. But that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gone. I hope that the rest of your day is the best of your day. Until we meet again, my friends. Peace, love. How's